Welcome back to our fourth episode of GNM, and my guest today is my boy George Fisher, Bamboozle.
What's up?
Thank you for being here, man.
Oh, absolutely, big
Appreciate
dog.
it.
Absolutely.
We go back a minute,
Long time.
a long time.
It's been a long time.
We've both been doing music and other endeavors for a while.
Yeah.
You're kind of like a mythical figure sometimes, man. I'm like, this dude's okay. He's in the dirtiest fucking house parties here, and then you're on a plane to Japan. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Right, just moving around.
What the hell am I doing wrong? And you're on vacation for like 3 months or some shit. It looked like forever. I'm like, I some of the places you go, I didn't even know they had Wi-Fi.
Hey, I'm at a point right now where you know, when you're younger, you want to do a lot of stuff. You know, you want to do this, you want to do that. Now I'm at a point in life where it's like, the stuff I want to do, I have the means to do it.
So do it.
So I'm like, no better time than the present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why wait? Yeah, I don't want to be, well, I do want to be, 60, 70 years old traveling around, but I want to go now too.
Yeah.
So
because you're still young. A lot of people don't get to do that. Like,
I don't have kids. And,
see, there you go.
you know what I mean?
A lot of us are stuck at basketball practice.
Yeah. I don't have any of that.
Which
So.
I personally love that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know there's definitely things that I'm missing out on. So I guess I compensate, with trips,
Yeah.
moving around.
I was really young when I became a dad, man.
Yeah.
Real young.
Yeah.
So
same.
when you start climbing up the years with your kids, it's like they're like your little brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So that's when like you start messing up and you're like, oh, I can't punish them.
What was I doing at that
I can't
age?
do that. I can't do that, man. So that was one of my things. As a dad, I wasn't real rough. I was just like, I wanted to be what they say that everybody says is wrong. I don't give a shit. They say you can't be a friend to them. You got to be a parent.
You got to be a parent.
But I wanted to be someone who they could tell everything and talk to.
And that's what you want, though.
And I spoiled the shit out of them.
You don't want your kids running wild and you not knowing what's going on. I personally, I feel the same. I would rather be the parent, like, look, just tell me what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help you through it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mad at you. Just let's figure it out.
That came on. That came in effect later with my daughter when she was 12 or 13, man, and she was like really conflicted and was freaked out and nervous. She said, I gotta talk to you. And I said, oh, shit.
Here it comes.
It's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be bad. I said, all right, go ahead, give it to me. And she came out to me.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Still your dad.
yeah, that's it. Like,
let's keep going.
I still love you. Like, nothing changes with me.
Just keep moving.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My main worry with her about that is being like, you know how kids are messed up at school because you're still little and you're young.
Yeah.
And you hear people talking shit in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
background.
yeah, for
I
sure.
said, man, I don't want to go beat no 13-year-old up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to go to school and raise hell if they're not protecting them.
Yeah.
But everybody was cool. I guess all their friends knew, and she's like, how did you not know? I'm like, I didn't know. I go through their phones and stuff because I'm their pop,
but
and
they're still young at that age.
Yeah,
That's just you're finding yourself and you're not really sure.
Because whenever there's moments at times where you guys will, I haven't heard from him in a while. Where are you? I'm stuck being a pop, man.
Yeah.
On the grind, going on the road with them to games and doing all these
Yeah.
cool things that hopefully one day you experience because it's like
Hopefully.
the best thing in the world. Bro.
Yeah. So, I think it's getting to that point. I just turned 36. So I'm, moving up the ladder and, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Because I'll tell you what, man, like I told my kids this once, I'd rather be at one of your basketball games. I get more out of being one of their basketball games or football, baseball, whatever, than I ever got a high out of being on stage and people going nuts.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's, when you think about kids, it's like your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the one true thing you can leave in this world that is like your product. This is, I molded this thing and invested in this thing and helped this thing be what it is, and
because I could always go back to music.
Yeah,
you can't just stop being a parent and then
go back and then
pick
raise
up
them at that age. Yeah,
no, you can go back to a song you left 2 months ago and start on it again.
Exactly,
you can't just pick up and leave.
Yeah, exactly.
But starting on that, man, for those who don't know you and might want to have a better understanding of you, where you're from Albuquerque, born and raised.
Born and raised.
Okay. Where'd you go to school? Good stuff.
I grew up in the North Valley. So I went to Alvarado, Taft. I went to private school for a little while at Manal, and then Valley.
Panther.
Panther. Yeah, so you know, because we used to play Estancia.
Oh yeah,
schools,
man, we got them on.
For sure.
They're the ones we got in trouble with a few years back, because they rough, man. They had this real tall Asian kid who was just beating the shit out of us, and the crowd was rough, man, and that's what got the NMAA was they made it to where for the playoffs last year, no parents could go. I mean, only the parents could go. No fans could be in the seats and anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was getting too crazy.
Yeah, man. They got in trouble. A couple.
Estancia versus Manal.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
When we were over here, it was bad. Cause I was still gonna support my cousins, my little cousins and family, but it got to the point I've never heard of people getting banned from the tournament, the state tournament.
That is crazy.
It was ridiculous, and there was some times where we had to pay on other territory, not each other's schools.
Mm-hmm.
But
mutual ground.
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. It's just competition, and I, you know, I try to be as cool as I could, but you're out there, you're watching your kids, and these are your cousins and stuff too.
Your family.
They're getting done dirty.
Yeah.
And you see it.
Yeah.
And you're like, do these guys have something against us or some shit?
They're cheating.
So it's not even the cheating part. Just be fucking matched up, you know? Don't be either way on anybody. Just be right there.
Equal.
That's all you want.
Sure.
But sorry to interrupt that, but go ahead, continue, man.
Valley and West Mesa.
Valley and West Mesa.
Yeah.
Wow. You went all the way out there, and then you were all the way up there.
I did night school, so I was at Albuquerque High. I moved around Cibola, summer school at Cibola. I was always in summer school and night school for sure, trying to catch up.
You got your Kevin Hart on?
I would fuck up. Like, you know, school for me was hanging out with the homies and smoking weed, and I had a fake ID when I was like 15, so we would literally leave for lunch and go to this liquor store that's not there no more. But I would go in there as like a 16-year-old with a fake ID and buy 40s for lunch, and we'd get smashed and go back to school. So day school, regular school was always like more fun, and then it was like, all right, well, you got to catch up now because you fucked up. So it was then night school and summer school.
Corresponding classes also.
Yeah, and I went to all these different schools, so I just met everybody. You know what I mean? Like I just.
Is that how you started networking with different people from everywhere?
I just knew everybody.
Because being if you're like in a certain part of town,
yeah,
another certain part of town's not gonna like you.
Yeah.
So
no, I was moving around everywhere, and that's funny you say that because like I remember being in school and like I used to get into fights or whatever, like, and I remember hearing about other people, other fighters from other schools, like, oh, you know, if you guys go to this party or a West Mesa party or a Cibola party, like watch out for these people. And I always used to hear about Carlos Condit back in the day, like in high school, he would be fucking people up at like high school parties and shit.
Yeah, that's the way I am with Tim Means.
Yeah,
I was like, man, you're a legend in the valley.
Oh,
bro.
for sure.
Out there in the East Mountains, he was knocking fools out.
He was knocking, and most of these guys were. Diego Sanchez was knocking people out at house parties.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Most of these guys were in school fucking people up because if you really think about it, like, this probably sounds crazy. I've been in 100 fights. But I've been fighting since kindergarten. You know what I mean? And then you get into middle school, you're fighting in middle school. You get into high school, you're fighting in high school. Then you're fighting at parties. Then you get out of that and you're going downtown and you're fighting in the bars. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you're fighting at shows and you're fighting over here and over there. And you just, being from Albuquerque is just something that happens. You know what I mean? People just want to, luckily, I mean, it's getting bad now, but
it was bad then too, man.
Well, before I feel like people would shoot you the fair one. I feel like a lot of people are getting shot now. You know what I mean? And before, people would be like, okay, you want to fight? Let's go outside.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more like, you want to fight? Pow, pow. Like, more people getting shot instead of being what it was. You know what I mean?
It's more respectable as a man and stuff like that too. Like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been in situations where I was like, man, there's no way I could take all these dudes on. So I was like, hey, man, y'all got me.
Yeah.
I'm not that dumb at doing math.
Yeah.
You know, I know if
either way you got me.
If I go with one.
Yeah.
His boys are gonna finish me.
Oh, for sure.
I've seen it 100 fucking times.
I mean, I've been in fights with people where I had to fight this guy and then his homie until, you know, one of them gets the best of me. You know, and that's just what it is. Like, but I don't know.
And that's a fucked up mentality to have, because I'm telling you, when you get older and then you have kids that are growing up and then they want to go hang out too, you're scared for them to go through the same shit you went through.
For sure.
It's freaky, because I remember, like you were saying, you were going to the liquor store. I mean, we're going to Gypsy Liquors on Central here. Or our Mike's down there in the Valle, and then we would just, they would sell you shit. You go through the drive-thru and you got it. You look old enough? Okay, cool.
Yeah. My ID says I'm old enough.
It was just...
I don't care if I look 15.
It's like the way you say, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we just left our first month.
Yeah.
And 8 murders.
I mean, I was downtown last weekend fucking around, and shit was all yellow caution taped off, and someone had got killed. We were in the bar. I didn't even hear no gunshots.
Outside the chemo?
Yeah, we literally went in the bar. Shit was fine. We came outside and shit was taped off. Cops everywhere. Like, what the fuck happened? Oh, someone got shot right there. We're like, fuck. You know, so you could love New Mexico as much as you want to, but there is a lot of shit we need to work on. For sure.
This macho machismo bullshit that we're all on. I know once you get that liquid courage in you, you stop giving a fuck. You stop giving a shit about things. But at some point, man, I'm like, I try to be as peaceful as possible with people. And I'd rather talk to somebody, hey man, if we have an issue, you know, what's the issue?
Yeah.
You know, if we don't have to get to the physical shit, because back then you could get your ass whooped and go through it, go home and you take your lumps.
Yeah.
But not no more. If you get in a fight, you get the cops called on you, you're going to jail, you gotta see a judge, you gotta get bail, then you gotta go to probation.
That comes with it.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's not the same anymore. And then everybody's fucking recording shit.
Yeah.
They're recording everything. Everything.
Sure.
These little kids in school, like the shit that happened up in Española, that little girl got beat up by a couple of other little girls. They whooped on her, recorded it, threw her in a trunk, took her somewhere, took her out and whooped her ass.
That's kidnapping.
A little kid.
That's kidnapping.
They're like 13, 14, 15 years old doing this. Like, kids. Where did they get that mentality?
Movies, man. And mom and dad.
Shit. It was like horrible to hear.
Yeah.
Because I love being there for kids, man, and seeing them do good. And when something like that happens, it just breaks my heart, because it's like, things like that don't have to happen.
No.
And imagine how it impacts their life. Now those kids,
now they're through the system.
Yeah, and the one that got hurt and went through it, she might not ever be right again.
Yeah.
God willing, she finds some peace, but she's gonna be scared forever.
Oh, for sure.
But knowing that you went through all those things too, did you had other siblings?
2 brothers.
2 brothers. Older? Younger?
Older. So I was the youngest.
You're the youngest.
I had one brother that was a nut, so he was like really heavy in the streets.
He whoop on you, teach you how to be strong?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I've been in 100 fights. Like, I fought my brother at least 20 times.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, real...
He's a couple years older than you, or was it a big age gap?
6
that's
years.
A tough gap right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So when I was he was 11, I was 5. You know what I mean? So he was fucking me up. When I was 10, he was 16. So he was fucking me up. I mean, he fucked me up till.
That's where you get tough. I think when you got siblings and family members that whoop on you and you guys fight each other, that's where you become strong.
Well, he was a wrestler. You know, that's like I've known Diego Sanchez since we were kids. He and my brother wrestled together at all junior wrestling. And, you know, most of the fighters, like, most of the guys out in New Mexico that are fighting, like, I've known them from the streets
for a minute.
Really before, like, any of the UFC shit kicked off, like Damasio and Diego, Carlos, you know.
Yeah, and how you got? Did you grow up with both your parents?
Yeah, I grew up with both my parents.
So you're one of the lucky ones.
Life for me was straight as a kid because Pops was out and getting it. You know what I mean? So I didn't really have, like, shit was bad. You know what I mean? Or, like, we were hungry or, like, shit. You know, shit was cool. Pops was a good dude. You know what I mean? I think he instilled a lot of things in me that were important. You know, a lot of values. And I think a lot of how I move today kind of comes from that. So, you know, it was cool growing up.
How did you choose to be buck wild, young and buck wild? And
it's probably my brother. You know, I was trying to follow his footsteps, and he was just wilding out. Like, my brother got busted coming in from Mexico, like $100,000 in counterfeit money. You know what I mean? He was doing all kind of shit.
How old was he at this time?
Probably like 20.
Jesus.
So that's right about the time I'm like 14.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing all this shit go down, and I'm like, this is what's cool. You know what I mean? So,
Wow. Yeah, that must have been pretty impactful on you, but not also you, but your parents.
Oh, he's wild now. He got raided, swatted to crib. You know what I mean? They shot my brother like 4 or 5 times with rubber bullets. He was all fucked up. I remember his shit was fucked. They shot him in his chest with these rubber bullets. His shit was fucked up.
And did you ever, when you noticed that, you never was like, I ain't dealing with that shit?
I won't. I'm not gonna say I glorified it, but it didn't scare me away. You know what I mean? I was just like, that's just what happens. You stupid criminals get stupid punishments. You know what I mean? Like, should have been doing shit smarter. You were fucking up. Whatever.
That would have scared the shit out of me to see that happen to my big brother.
Well, I mean, I didn't witness it, but I did see my brother like, moments after or whatever. They arrested him, but we went to his house when he was had a SWAT situation. So my mom called me to go up there, and then we were at the crib, and the cops were trying to keep us back, but they were trying to like go in the house to get him, but he's inside low.
And sometimes I feel like when they have those kind of situations, man, they keep the family back and they don't let them speak to their family. Yeah, and sometimes their family could talk them down.
My mom probably could have diffused the whole situation because there was one person in the world he ain't gonna even get sideways with is my mother. You know what I mean? But it doesn't work like that.
Wow. So. Okay, and how did you whenever you were growing up and since you had older brothers, what were they bumping in the house?
Oh, it was Eazy-E. It was Too Short. DJ Quick, shit. AMG.
They messed our lives up, didn't they?
Oh, bro, you already know.
Oh, man, that was the greatest thing ever happened to me. The good thing about me was I was balanced. I had all that Mexican traditional music.
Yeah, for sure.
The New Mexico music, the Tejano music. And then here I am sneaking with these cassettes that are like, I'm not supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
Man, the Walkman bumping that shit.
The Eazy-E's, the NWA's.
Was that what made you wanted to be a musician or an artist?
No, my brother rapped. My brother rapped. And he was going around like, we're probably looking like 96, 97. But he was going around and winning like battles and shit. And I remember he won a battle one time and they gave him a skateboard as a trophy. And it was like this certain skateboard. But he was like, here, you could have that. You know what I mean? I remember hanging that up. So like, seeing him do what he was doing with the rap was cool, and I kind of like I was drawn to that. Like I kind of want to fuck around with this rap shit, And it was funny because one of the first studios that I went in and I knew that what I was trying to do was attainable was R&D studios. It was when it was off of Central.
Central and Coors.
It's probably like 98, maybe 99. Like right around there.
I got there in 2002.
So it was right before that, maybe 2000.
Yeah.
I don't think you were there yet. I think Metal was there, Merciless was there, Fade was there,
Pomp was there,
Pomfilo was there. You know what I mean? This was just a little bit before you got there because I remember when you went to R&D, and I remember all of that. So this was right before then. But I went in there. I was probably like 16, 17, and. They locked me in the studio with Spice One and Mike C. And this is like literally my first kind of studio experience. Like I'd been at my homie's house and fucked around on like some little equipment that he had. Yeah. I had a homie that was like super rich, and his dad was like, "Oh, you want a studio?" Like bought him all this shit, but we didn't really know. That was the only experience I had. So to be in the studio, or this actual recording studio, and then I'm with Spice One. Someone like it's a funny story. Spice ended up becoming my homie, but when I was like in the 3rd grade, you remember the box?
Used to call him all the time.
No, I didn't call him, but I was listening to Spice One. Spice One to come on. Wrong motherfucking strap on the side of me. So I was like young, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting here rapping all the words, and my dad had happened to come through the back door, and I didn't know he was there. So I'm like standing on this chair, and I'm like, bro. My dad's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I turn around, and I was like busted. So I was like the end of the box. So, being friends with Spice One and this being like my first time was kind of like coincidental, like I got in trouble for listening to you and here I am, hanging out or whatever. But that first little experience was like...
Sparked something in you.
I could do this.
You could do it too.
I could do this. I could do this for sure.
I used to record on a multi-track recorder or Tascam.
Yeah.
And it was cool to me because everybody starts on karaoke machines, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you can dub once, move the cassette over here, and add another vocal. But, you know, and then by the time you're done, it's so dulled down, it's horrible.
Yeah,
but
the quality is
a multi-track, man, it was cool because you could just keep adding tracks and the quality don't diminish.
Die down, yeah.
So that's how I made my demo, and I passed it around. So I only made 200 copies, but I got rid of all of them. And one of them got to Pamphilo.
Yeah.
Because I had known Pamph like a long time. Shout out Pamphilo, man.
Shout out to
boy.
S.A. Pomps. That's my homeboy,
yeah,
man.
he was brutal, man. And
For
he was
sure.
like, oh, I'm going to take this. And I'd known David Way since the early days, like, because David was buck wild.
So I know David
He
since
was
Boys and
OG.
Girls Club. I mean, we're talking like 98.
Since their crew half and half,
91,
man.
92.
Since
Shit.
they were doing the half and half with my boy Nate and my bro Aaron. Rest in peace, Aaron. He just passed away this last week. And they had the half and half crew. So that's how I started to meet Dave. And he was doing music and everything. And through another mutual friend, I was like, man, it'd be cool to go and just record with him finally.
Yeah.
And
Go check
being
it
at
out.
that studio was the first time I seen, because I was supposed to meet him there. He says, come to the studio, record. It was expensive as shit to go
because
record.
David Wade was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And David was
He was like the main.
he was getting paid for features
he was doing
too,
his
bro.
thing right then. Okay.
But since we know each other for a little bit, he didn't charge me the whole double
for
up.
sure.
So I was like, damn, it was still, but
Yeah.
but it was worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
I had never been in a studio. I didn't know you recorded on computers.
Oh, okay.
I was expecting something out like just something digital,
A bigger a 12
console.
track.
Yeah, something different. But I went in there and the atmosphere was different, and I said, shit, this is dope.
Yeah.
And the first song I ever recorded on a real thing is just the first take, the first everything. I was kind of nervous being around other people. And since I was recording myself, so I was in there, and then Mike C was doing everything, David did his thing, and I got the beat from John G and from Rip 'Em Up. MC. Because I remember that compilation. That's what set it off for a lot of fucking people, man.
DeAndre was on there, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rip 'Em Up.
With No Sleep.
Shout out to No Sleep, man. That was the homie for sure.
He definitely said put a lot of work in for us. Trues and Thugs.
That was DeAndre.
And Blamo. And then
shout out to Blamo, DeAndre.
we got what else, man? What else? You had the MG.
The
whole thing was dope.
been around forever.
And then you had the Dub Click.
The Dub Click
was Boy Royalty and Cristilli, man. That shit was dope too. So that whole thing helped me set it off. I actually called John off the number on there got the
album.
beat. Yeah, I got the beat for Baby Girl from him. I gave it to David. The next day he says, come over, let's do it. So I came up, we recorded Baby Girl, and that song's been like the most successful one for me. And that was like November of 2002.
That's crazy.
And
I hate 20 years ago.
I hate that fucking song. I don't like performing it at all.
But if everybody else likes it, then
yeah. And there's been a lot of compilations and a lot of downloads. It's one of the biggest ones I have. But it meant a lot to me because that was my first one I actually did in a real studio.
Yeah.
So shout out David Wade and Mike and everybody, man. I learned a lot from Mike. Mike took a liking to me because I had a lot of questions to ask.
Big Mike.
What are you doing there, Mike C?
Oh, Mike C. Okay.
What are you doing? What is that? What do you do here? What do you do? What are you doing with that? And he was like, man, this motherfucker has questions.
What's the name of his old group? Zlook?
Z-Look.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when he had that set adrift on Memory Bliss.
No, I caught a new picture with him, and he had like
to the side.
He had this thing going on, man. Shout out to Mike C.
He's a good man, bro. Ever since he's always kept it real with me, and he's never. This dude's text me back while he's doing a gig. I said, man, I can't figure out what I'm doing here. I changed the buffer size here and there. I said, what are you doing right now? Then he sent me a video. I said, you fucking playing?
Thousands of people in the crowd here.
And you're texting me? That's an amazing man right there.
For sure.
So he definitely came and changed the whole fucking sound for us and the way we recorded.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, my first experience with even music like that, I guess, being in the music community here in Albuquerque or New Mexico, was my experience.
That was, and what was the first stuff that you ever did? How did you come up with the whole Fat Fish deal?
I don't know. My last name is Fisher, and I don't know. It's just something that I kind of... When I was doing all that, I kind of was trying to think of what would be something like if you heard it, you would remember it. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of what stuck. And then we just ran,
Well, where did you take that idea back and start your own recording studio at home, or?
Oh well, you know, I had my homie that his dad had bought the little equipment for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we started like dibbling and dabbling in there, and I was making like little songs. I was probably like 16 years old. I was making little songs in there, and shit started coming out, I guess, kind of tight, because homies were like, yo, this fucker raps, and bring us CDs or whatever, you know what I mean? Burn us this or that. And so we started doing that, and then I had a partner, you know, and my partner basically was like, yeah, this shit's tight, let's run, you know. So we started doing some things, and then just kind of went from there, you know. It just grew. Boy Dirt came into the equation, you know, and just...
How did you find Dirt? Because like I was telling you, man, the first time I heard of him was on that cover. Yeah.
Dirt was somebody that my partner had brought in, and I think my partner had met Dirt's cousin or something, and he was like, oh, I got a cousin that raps, whatever. And, you know, so as soon as he came in to the equation, we just kind of all hit it off and just started.
Because I had that,
you know.
I got that mixtape, and we were playing it at a house party. Remember when the studio got moved into the war zone?
Oh yeah,
off of Copper, in Wisconsin, and we were playing it in there. And I'm like, man, this motherfucker's ill.
Mm-hmm.
He's dope. He was really good, really good.
Yeah.
And till today, you know, we're all of us are very competitive.
Yeah.
In this bravado bullshit that we all have, and because hip hop it is competitive, we always say, man, you know, that's dope, I can do better, that kind of shit. I always heard his shit, and I was like, I don't know, man. He's
got
smooth.
It. He's got it, you know, and he's always had it.
He's probably the best.
He's one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
You know, me personally, I consider a few of you guys just on a different level. You know what I mean? And that's, I can't say one person is better than the other, because all these people appeal to their own markets, and they all have their own niche and their own genre and their own kind of lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So every one of you guys, I think, does your thing individually in that lane. But Dirt is definitely an asset.
He's special. There's something special about him, because he does it effortlessly.
He does. Effortlessly.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. And then the other one was that Black album where you had an R&B singer. What was his name? Jackson?
T. Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard another dude on there, Marco Montana.
Marco Montana. Yeah.
How did you find Marco? Because when I heard Marco and Dirt on this thing, and then I heard Marco on that compilation you guys put out, and it was dope, and I'm like, I gotta meet this dude. And when I met him, it was something I never expected.
You never expect that?
No.
Yeah. No. So I went to high school with Mark, and then after high school, Mark was making music and I was making music or whatever, and then my brother was hanging out with Mark, so they just kind of all came together. And then, you know, at this time I was like, everything was dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Yeah.
So everybody was on contract. You know, we signed Mark, and we signed Cooley Shaw, and we signed
y'all had it going on.
Yeah, we signed a few people, you know, and so we were moving like that. Mark's story was so incredible, you know what I mean? The first time I saw Mark, we put him in the studio, he put a pen in his mouth,
and he wrote it.
And he wrote his rap, and I was just blown away.
I went to his apartment, man, and he had this big paper, and then I said, all right, there's the beat. Okay, the guy who used to work with him and take care of him.
Yeah.
He put the beat up. We were listening to it. I was writing. I was writing in my sidekick. And Marco had this marker in his mouth, and he was writing his verses, man.
On the paper. Yeah.
And it was beautiful, straight.
Yeah, you could read it there. You know, like, perfect. This shit's crazy.
I could read it. He's like, all right, brother, I'm done, man. Yeah, I was like, hold on, man. Hold on. Give me a little bit more time. Then we go outside and put one in the air and came back, recorded it. He was like a 1 take, 2 take kind of guy, man. Yeah. Very, very special person.
Yeah, my guy. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, Mark is quadriplegic, and he's been quadriplegic since birth. He doesn't have any control or use of his legs or arms, and so his brain and mentally,
but he's a genius.
He's intact, and he puts a pen in his mouth. He writes all his raps. He's a recording artist. He's written a book. He's just he's definitely not letting anything in life knock him down.
He's definitely a special person.
Big shout out to my guy Mark. So yeah, we signed him and Dirt, and we just started running, man.
When you have a label and you run with a certain bunch of people, like I thought at the time that I said, man, we got the baddest motherfuckers.
Yeah.
All in one location.
Yeah.
And then you see these other crews that pop up and you're like, nah.
Yeah.
Whatever. But y'all were like the only others that were like, man, they got it, dude. Like,
I was trying.
They're good.
What's crazy is I was trying.
They ain't asking for shit. They're doing it themselves. They're really pushing it.
I was a firm believer in let's just do it ourselves. Mm-hmm. That was always like my motto, like the t-shirts, you know what I mean? Like that's how I got into like dealers and all that, because I was watching people I was paying for t-shirts to press Fatfish t-shirts. I'm paying them $3 for something that cost them, not $3.
Not $3.
You know,
they get the discount.
And so I was,
cut the middleman out.
I do it myself, and I think owning the studios and our production, our CD duplication, and everything was just like we'll just do it ourselves.
Well, y'all had it going on, man. You guys had the studio right there on San Mateo.
Right here, yeah, right.
And then
yeah,
I went there a couple of times with you guys. Had my fun.
Did you go to the one on Shelwood, Wantabo?
I don't think so.
See, I had another one on Wantabo's. Big. It's like 3,000 square feet. It was like 3 or 4 studios, kind of like something like this where you can have multiple studios.
It was hot, man. You guys were doing your thing, and then how did you go from making just a bunch of albums and doing shows and putting on stuff, events? How did you move into making videos? Because that Dirt video and the one y'all did with the Block Boys was like one of the first big ones.
So, Vision House and Ian. I known Ian since I was a kid.
It's another genius.
And so Ian, when we first one we did with Ian was Boy Dirt, something you never heard. Boy Dirt,
the one where he was in there with the record.
LA Underground in the record. So that was the first one we did with Ian. And
that was hot, man.
Ian, I basically, I had known him. He knew I was doing music, and I knew he was doing videos, and so approached him and just told him, like, look, let's do these videos. I'm positive, like, we can make something happen here. I know that there's a need for what you do, and there's a lot of artists out here that are gonna need your services. Let's make this happen. So we came together on that first one, put it out, and boom, just like that, they became like a staple in
they did,
New Mexico music videos. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't going to them, you weren't doing it right.
And
you know what I mean?
I know, and then you guys had the hookup, and you guys weren't assholes that were like, you got to go through us to get to them. You were like, nah, here's his fucking number. Hit him up.
Those are the guys.
That's my boy. He need, get him more work.
Yeah, get him work. Exactly.
So you guys just passed him on to us.
Well, for me, it was like, that first one, we needed that, and we wanted the right look, and we didn't want to pay what he wanted, because he was coming off of like working for the Cardinals or something, and it was
and he's definitely worth it too.
Yeah, he's worth it, but we didn't want to pay that. So it was like, look, plug us here, I'll bring more people, and thankfully that's why I was, hey, use these guys, let's get them some work, and it worked out, and I think the video market, there's so many people doing it now. The editing is, it's more people know how to do it, more people know how to work the programs, and it's gotten a lot cheaper. So unfortunately, I don't know if they're making videos anymore, or if they're still doing music videos. But
no, he's completely booked, man. I've been trying to get him to do shit for a while, but we still use him for editing.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, because he's editing. His editing is off the charts.
Yeah, they're cleaning what they do.
So I'm still good with him, and we stay in touch with him as much as we can. And other than that, man, I know you went through some hard times. I don't know if it was 06 or something.
06,
something happened to your brother.
Yeah, my brother died. He passed in 06, and he committed suicide. That was crazy. That was a tough one, because it was a really weird dynamic between me and my brother. Because
is he the older or the young or the middle?
He's the middle. but he's older than me. But there was a point where I was just moving around so heavy and doing so many things and like all this fat fish stuff going on. He like almost became like my little brother. You know what I mean? Where he was trying to be around me all the time and be in the studio and go here and go
I definitely seen dude, met him, but never got to know him like I knew you guys, because you guys are way more active.
Yeah. So
you
he was
way more active.
He was crazy. He was in the streets. So his main thing was, you know, moving here or there, try to do this and that. And I was trying to make shit happen in the studio. You know
yeah, that was crazy, man. That was crazy when that happened. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was sad because I think the whole community felt it.
Yeah, because a lot of people, he knew everybody, you know, and that was another reason, like, out here in Albuquerque, not only did I go to all those schools, but I also had older brothers, and they did the same kind of thing. They went to all these different schools.
They knew everybody, and their friends knew you.
You know what I mean?
You know how many people I run into, man, that I meet, and they're like, oh, do you know George, you know Fisher? I said, yeah, I know George. He says, yeah, well, I went to school with his brother, and I knew Anthony and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. It's just so small, bro.
Oh, for sure.
It's small, man.
He was a popular guy. He had a lot of friends. He had a lot of love, but he just, you know, he had just his issues and some struggles.
Off of that, what happened to him, which is unfortunate and very sad. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you like taken into like maybe helping or being an advocate for or an activist to try to raise more awareness for suicide prevention?
You know what? I can't say that I do, but what I do is, you know, that experience taught me a lot, you know, and it definitely...
It's one of those things that could break you, bro.
It could. And that's why you know, who you are and your personality, the way your brain works and all these different things come into play in times like... I lost my dad too. You know what I mean? I lost my dad and my brother. So things like that do break people. Mm-hmm. If you let them. You can, you know, it's a make it or break it situation. Yeah. Either this is going to make you or it's going to break you. And I'm not ready to be broke. So, you know, I'm just trying to run through it all. Yeah. But losing my brother has definitely taught me not to sweat the small stuff, to tell everybody you love them, mm-hmm. you know, to leave everybody respectfully, you know, because you don't know when anybody's time is. Yeah. Anything can happen at any time. So I've learned that, and that's taught me to walk a little bit differently. And I like to think that I have a voice that certain people, or I'm able to reach certain people, you know. And so I definitely try to kick that out there and help people grow in that sense, you know. But it's rough.
Yeah, man.
It's life.
I know how you feel, man. We lost a lot of good people out here.
I tell people all the time, like, I've been to 100 funerals, and I keep throwing that 100 word out there, but it's like, it's realistic. You know, I've buried
lots of friends, and then these friends, these guys that I'm talking about, men and women that we lost, you're so tight with them.
Yeah,
they're like losing a fucking family member. It's like losing a brother, a sister, or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm tired of making these in memory tracks, man.
Yeah.
Like this last video, this song was done like 6 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But Henry G kept playing it on the radio out there in Arizona and Cali, and then I would look, my analytics would tell me on Spotify, and you know,
shout out to Henry G too.
Yeah, man.
I watched him from the beginning.
Out in Cruising.
Yeah.
See, that shit was number one always.
Oh shit.
That one and Dear Father.
Oh nice.
And I was like, I'm just gonna make a quick video to it, maybe give it some light.
Yeah.
And I did it in the church back at home.
Yeah.
In
Stunted.
Yeah. Then my uncle, who resembles my stepfather, who raised me, who's my pop, I was actually at his at the gravesite, and my uncle looked so much like him. I was like, okay, just put on the white T-shirt and the suspenders, and put the hat
put on his dress.
Let's do this, man.
This is how he would look.
Let's do it. And it was pretty cool. And I put a lot of people in there, man. Like Vicente Picosito. I put.
Man, rest in peace.
Yeah, man, that one hurt me bad, bro.
For sure. I remember
when that happened. You called me when I was leaving, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do, bro.
Man, that was my
little homie.
That was my boy.
I love that boy. And what happened to him was bullshit.
Yeah.
Then losing Johnny, losing Joe D, then Ernestine, A-Dub. That was sad.
You know what's
that
crazy,
didn't have
bro?
to happen, man.
Doug, I went to Okay, so they died like 2 weeks apart or whatever, right? And I went to...
He was at the Panda video shoot with y'all.
I went to...
Y'all showed up.
Bro, I went to Jody's funeral with A-Dub, and we're leaving the funeral. And he, like, pulls the car over to the side. It was me and the Crown and A-Dub, and I can't remember who was in the front seat, but he turns around, he's like, look, you know, if anything happens to me, I just want you guys to know I love you. You know, this is fucked up that we're here today or whatever, but I just want you to know, like, I got you. And we went, and he dropped us off, and he died like 2 weeks later. So it was just that moment was just.
I met A-Dub at when we were filming the video to the Panda remix.
Mm-hmm.
I met him there.
Yeah.
And then right after that, he was gone, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, little homie was just there.
Yeah.
I just shook his hand, dapped him up,
gave
a hug, and now he's gone.
I was with Dub every day. Like, he was in my studio recording every day. So it was crazy. Like, I had him, he was doing my floors, my tile at my house. He was recording every day. Like, he was around me every single day, helping me print shirts, getting the brand out. And so it was just, you know, I came to a point where a lot of things in Fat Fish just kind of started going kind of kooky.
Different ways.
Yeah, exactly. And so I kind of had to...
people grow.
People grow.
And sometimes you outgrow people, and it's not necessarily for the worse.
Yeah.
Some people have their own family, and then you got your own, you know, like
for
you said, you don't have children.
Yeah.
Maybe you have another outlet to life, and you can be free. But somebody who has a family really can't.
Yeah, they got to take care of certain,
they're tied down. A lot of us are tied down.
Exactly. And that became a lot of it, you know. I mean, going through this, at a certain time, Dirt went to prison. You know, he got wrapped up, so then that kind of fucked some shit off. A couple of my other homies got caught up. They went to prison. That fucked some shit off. You know, people grew, had kids.
Spread out.
You know, people all of a sudden got families. And, you know, over a span of 20 years, a lot of different things happened. So there came a time where I kind of had to reposition myself. And I decided to put my eggs in the Crown's basket, in A-Dub's basket. And Kush, I don't know if you remember Kush, but at the time I was fucking with my little homie Kush, man. So I felt like they were like the next generation to go make some shit happen. And so Kush, you know, he was more into doing something else that he had going on, so that didn't really pan out. And then A-Dub had gotten killed. You know what I mean? So then the Crown is where we're at now, you know. And it's like we're just full steam ahead, you know, pumping his shit right now. So. And
there's nothing wrong with that, bro, because how I started with the first label I was affiliated with, you know, everything dissolves. Yeah, everything. And it's not for the bad or the worst. It just happens sometimes.
Exactly.
Everybody goes their different direction, their different thing. But one thing I could not do is stop doing music.
No.
So if something failed somewhere, I just dug myself into another place, locked myself up, and recorded. And that's why I got so many albums, and that's why my CD Baby checks are nice every week.
You got a
catalog. That's why my quarterly.
You built the catalog.
My quarterly royalties are nice.
Good. Your music will pay you forever.
I'm fucking blessed.
Yeah,
I'm blessed, and so you know, but you know, it's not necessarily like that for everybody, and I wish everybody could. But the game has changed so much. We can't go out there and meet people hand to hand giving CDs, because now it's just you
people
record,
don't do it anymore.
Put it online right away.
Yeah.
There's no footwork.
You got to be innovative. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? People do go the online route. I saw some shit that we were trying to put together was albums on USBs.
Mm-hmm. I've done that.
That's probably the next wave for us, is these custom USBs that have the Crown on them, his album artwork and his songs locked into the USB. So it's still a flash drive, but his music, his album, and his artwork is locked into that.
You just dip it in and see. I've been doing that for like 5-6 years, where I sell my whole catalog, and every year it grows. Yeah. So and I still do the whole thing for $55. That's 500 plus songs.
The fucking cars don't come with CD players anymore; they come with USBs. You know what I mean? So
and now it's Bluetooth too. So
so
either way you're screwed.
Right.
You just gotta adapt to the moment.
And that's it. It's just being adaptive. You know, just going whichever way all this shit is moving, just trying to move with it. And you know, as long as I can do that, I think I'll be all right.
You could be good, man. Just because I know since the beginning we started Politica, we started Good Guy Clothing, Street Savvy, pushed the shit out of it. So anywhere we went, we had paper. Yeah. So you doubled up, not just one album, 2 albums, 3 albums, whatever. You had the clothing with you. Yeah. And you evolve into other clothing and other stuff too. And now Politica Records has the Nuevo Farms, the hemp farm. And Jeff has been working his ass off, bro.
For sure. I talked to Jeff yesterday. Big shout out to Jeff.
and he's working hard. So me and him have really been blessed, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it started from just one phone call conversation, one feature on a song, "Close My Eyes" with David and Frost, and the rest was just like we just kept grinding.
It's so crazy how even though we're way out here, you know, I feel like we, myself and yourself included, have a lot of ties to the industry. You know, major ties. People that we're working with on just multiple levels that are really influential people in music. And, you know, after 20 years of doing something, I kind of feel like we're getting to the point where we're starting to be influential. You know,
Hopefully.
I have people that come to me on a regular basis, you know, how do I do this? Can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? And, you know, if nothing else, I hope that my experiences and the shit that I've had to deal with and get past could help these people on their journey.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what the OGs are supposed to do.
For sure.
That's what they did for me.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I
don't expect anything else.
I spent a lot of money that probably was unnecessary, that I didn't have to, but I didn't know I didn't need to spend it until after it was spent. You know, so a lot of shortcuts, I guess you could say.
In this documentary, the After Orange documentaries go shed a lot of light on Albuquerque and New Mexico, and I'm hoping that opens the light to bring more attention to the music scene.
Yeah.
But we are oversaturated with a bunch of junk. But there's a lot of good shit out here.
There's a lot of talent.
There's good stuff, man. There's battle rappers, there's people who do videos, artists who do videos. That's why when I do singles, not all of them, I put a video to push it. And when you put that single out with the video, it helps propel it.
Oh,
you
yeah,
get some digital sales, right?
It's going visual. You know?
And now you got the dealers, right?
Yeah, dealers.
Which I've been rocking for a minute.
Dealersclothing.com. Yeah, you know, the dealers just kind of grew legs and started doing its own thing too. So, you know, I saw a lane and I saw a want really for
extra currency.
I started making a few little things and people are like, "That's just tight. Let me get a shirt," you know, and it just kind of rolled into something where, you know, there's like 10, 15 different designs and online store and, you know, shit, thousands of pieces out. You know.
That's great, man.
So,
and you know, anytime that you need me for anything like that too, just let me know. You know, because I hit you up and I need one of those, man.
Yeah.
So I rock the shit out of it.
No, I appreciate it, man. It's like I said, it's just kind of, it's grown legs and it's doing its own thing, and you know, luckily, a lot of people support it. A lot of people, you know, are fucking with it.
And then it's hard because a lot of people locally usually don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
And for somebody to receive a clothing line so well, and there's a lot of people everywhere just doing it.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
I think but I'm older. You know, I know 15 years ago, we were doing so many things in the streets and I was caught up in so many different things that there was inevitably going to be people that didn't care for me because of X, Y, or Z.
Not just yourself. I'm saying like we got a clothing line too.
Yeah.
And usually some people that are in Mexico really don't fuck with us. Like we don't fuck with each other, and we need to change that, man.
Yeah, for sure. I see.
Like
that.
last time I had the Duke City Skyline, homie. I had his hat. I had his shirt.
Yeah.
Shirt was too big, man. You gotta give me a smaller one. And but I kept the hat on there and through the whole thing, you know, and I push the pictures out. I try to do my best, man. I support anyone who's trying to do something good with themselves. You know, and back then, like you said, growth, man, I probably would have been like,
fuck that.
Why? I do my own shit.
Yeah,
I got my own shit. Why do I need your shit?
But you grow and you learn, and now it's like, I'm at a point where I'll help anybody. I'll work with
if they're good people and they come to me genuine, man, and they're genuine people and they show love, like, I got you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're a little internet troll and you hang out and you talk and send subliminals and stuff, and then more than likely I'm never gonna mess with you.
Yeah, you know, I just, like I said, I'm at a point where I feel like a lot of people, I have a lot of the youngsters come to me and ask me, you know, different advice, different things, and you know, any way I can help them, I'm gonna try to help them.
And shout out to all New Mexicans, man. You guys are really stepping up and showing love, man. And this is what I wanted to create this for, man. The GNM is to have people like maybe some people that know about
for sure,
a lot of things that you've been through.
And I appreciate it.
And then now they could look back and see this and say, okay, man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
I've been through something similar. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And just another format for us to get known.
Absolutely. I mean, we need every platform we can get. I think as a whole, we're all trying to make things happen right now. You know, we got Netflix coming in and a lot of movies being shot. I got a lot of homies going kind of that direction.
Exactly, man. Shout out to Josh, man. Yeah. J Arrow, man, doing his thing out there in the movies, man.
That's the homie.
He said next time Denzel comes through, he's gonna get me to meet him.
Man, let's go to Vernon's. I'll buy.
I really want to meet Denzel.
Let's go, man.
You know, and he said he's gonna make it happen, so I'm holding you to it, man.
Hey, now I want in too.
Yeah, man, I gotta meet this dude, man. I think he's the slickest. He's the slickest actor in the world. I think he's my favorite, man. I think he's been my favorite forever.
For sure, he's one of my favorites also.
I think that maybe we should get into more of that because I've seen a lot of local artists that took part in Breaking Bad, other local movies.
I was in Breaking Bad.
Better Call Saul.
I was in Breaking Bad. I was in the prison scene where they go and they kill all. They got like however 1 minute to kill all these people and all different. Yeah. I was over there.
See, man, what a small world.
Yeah.
And then crazy. Every time and then New Mexico's #1 now for movies.
Yeah.
To come make movies.
For sure.
So now the world is expanding for us, man. It's time for all of us to embrace each other and just kick ass together instead of just being so segregated.
We definitely have a rare and prime opportunity in front of us, being everything that's coming into play into New Mexico right now. If you position yourself right to take advantage of it, you could be very successful. And
so we either capitalize on that chance that we got right now, or do we fuck it off?
Or fuck it off.
I'm not gonna fuck it off.
I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna roll with the people that they got a positive vision and say, man, let's move forward, bro. Let's do something together. Let's
seize the opportunity.
If I got an opportunity to go do something, I say, man, roll with me. Come on, let's go check this out. Because maybe it might not work for me, but it might work for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm all about the networking. I'm all about the introduction. I might not be able to do something here, but maybe you can.
Because some things aren't for everybody, and that's what we don't understand. And everything you put out isn't always going to work.
Well, you got to put it out for you. Like, in that case, you were saying, like, I hate this song, but, in that case, the people like it, and that's what gets the responses.
Promoters tell me, can you make sure to put this song on there? And that's all we ask. I'm like, shit, man. I put a verse and a hook and I'm done. A verse and a hook and I'm done. I don't want to play that song no more. It's crazy. What do you got coming up?
Oh shit! I got a bunch of parties. I'm just trying to work this thing in. Cruises.
We're still going to cruises.
Yes, cruises. So we're trying to just lock the date in. We got Gambino, Meadow, and Rashid. I got Rashid. I'm with Rashid a lot. I have him in the studio.
He just did something for us right now.
I recorded it.
Fire, bro.
Yeah, I recorded it.
That was fire, dude.
That was in my crib.
He said, and Jerry says, you ready to hear it? I said, yeah, send it to him. They said, Rashid?
Yeah.
All right, send it. So we sent it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
All right.
He's dropping them heat rocks for sure.
I said, man.
He's another one that it's been really weird in my life. Like a lot of these people that I've
been knowing him since
he was somebody.
Late 90s.
I used to rap his verses just because I fucked with SPM, but it was like really strange. Like a lot of people that I looked up to in the game, I ended up becoming friends with.
Me too.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of strange when that happens. But he was one of those people. He was one of those people when I was young. Like another one that really sticks out to me is Do or Die. Mm-hmm. I can tell you how many times I listened to the Heads or Tails CD over and over and over again with that shit on repeat. And then to be with them and be with Twista and smoking blunts or doing whatever, it's just like life has been.
That's one thing I give you a lot of credit, man. You're a networking motherfucker, bro.
Oh man,
I seen you as you. Only dude that takes more pictures with celebrities is probably Casual One. Shout out Casual One, man. This dude has pictures with Marilyn Monroe.
JFK,
Elvis. This dude takes. He knows. He's the biggest supporter in New Mexico music.
Absolutely.
And if somebody puts something out, he'll put it out for him.
He's absolutely.
He's gone to shows, bro.
Casual One, shout out.
And just records the video of your performance, and then he'll just send it to you. Because that's the kind of good brother he is, man.
He is.
He goes and supports every local show.
I've never seen him have like a problem with anyone.
Because if somebody has a problem with him, we all jumping on.
Oh, for sure. I've never seen him say anything ill about anybody. No. I've never seen him never be anything but the happiest, most like respectful, hey kind of guy. Like,
and that's hip hop.
For sure.
And he's a serious hip hop head, and that's what hip hop should do, man. He shows love to everybody.
He's all about it.
He's the only one I've ever seen that does that shit.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure.
That kind of support. One that for anybody.
It's he's unbiased. Yeah. He helps and supports everybody. If you put something out, he'll buy it.
I have a lot of love for him.
For sure. For sure.
What are you planning to do in the future as in deals? Because I heard yesterday that you might have something with Rose.
No, Freeway.
The real. Okay,
The real.
because see, we got the same connection because of the documentary and both.
Okay. So
if you can elaborate.
So a couple of my homies, one of them being from here, he and a partner of his partner just did White Boy Rick. I don't know if you know that.
Love that movie.
Okay, White Boy Rick. So that there's a guy named Matt that we're working with, and he was an executive producer for White Boy Rick. And they went to Sony and they got their deal over there. After that, I kind of was approached by these guys and they said, hey, we just got done doing this, and it worked out, and we're interested in doing Freeway Rick Story. I had been introduced to Rick a few years back and some other stuff that I had going on, and Rick and I became friends. And so when Rick and I became friends, it kind of opened opportunity to work with Rick. And so these guys...
He's definitely a legend.
Oh, dude, that's another, like, my life has been really weird. Like, when I say that, I mean it, like, to have relationships like with people like Rick, John Jones, Post Malone, to know these kind of people, it's very strange to me. I still haven't, like, made sense of all of it, because it's not just like I met this person, but it's like all these different people of all these different walks of life doing all these different things, but they're at the pinnacle of their field, of what they're doing, and it's really
y'all
strange.
did that with the Dog Pound one fucking time too. Y'all had pictures. They came to your studio. They were doing shit. I was like,
all day, Corrupt and Daz.
That's why I text you, man. How the fuck do you
Sons.
know these motherfuckers? I just seen the pictures. They just came through.
They just came through. Yeah.
Man, that's why that you one network, you motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
And that's either a gift or a curse, but I think it's a blessing to be able to have all them connects.
Man, it's well, not only having them, but you gotta utilize them. So like I was saying though, they came to me after they finished White Boy Rick, said, hey, we're interested in doing Rick's movie. So I've been to LA a couple times and we've had sit downs and trying to push this thing forward, but there's a multi-million-dollar deal on the
there should be works. No doubt that somebody wants to tell that story, because it's an American story from rags to riches. Yeah. And then you get knocked down again, and then you survive.
And then you make it. And then you become an activist.
And he's a survivor, bro.
His thing was, he was on death row. Yeah. They told him you're never going to see it. And he went into jail not knowing how to read or write, and taught himself to read and write in jail. Not only taught himself to read and write, but then taught himself the law. Then learned enough about the law to figure out that his case was tainted, and learned enough to go in front of the courts and say, hey,
present it and get it.
Yeah.
Get a fair one.
And now he's out. You know what I mean? After being, he was on life in prison. Yeah. So his story is really crazy, working for, being one of the biggest drug traffickers ever in United States history.
We ain't glorifying that.
No, it's just
his story.
It's the
truth.
Reality.
It is what it is.
It's the truth, and working for the CIA. I mean, the CIA was involved with what he was doing. He didn't know this at the time, but that's what it was. And so his story is just something you're never going to really come across.
Exactly.
And he's still alive to tell it,
That's the most beautiful part.
Yeah.
That he's still here for that.
Yeah.
And if we're coming into the end right now, how do you want people to remember you whenever you're done doing music, movies, everything?
Just be a good person, just if there's anything you take from me or my situation, I just help people, you get in a position
and still stay positive.
You got to keep going, I mean, I've literally had some serious trip ups in my life, but had I let those things stop me, where would I be, at home somewhere? Depression, anxiety. I'm not trying to do any of that. Just I think it's very important to have goals. Very important to know your next move, or at least to have something planned out and have a destination.
In case something don't go your way, maneuver a different.
Just always know you're trying to accomplish the next thing. I think when people get stagnant is when the trouble happens. Mm-hmm. That's when it all kind of goes down.
Well, you're definitely gonna get it, bro. And thank you for coming.
No, thank you.
It's been
Thank you for having me.
It's been good knowing you all these years, man. I thank you.
Time. You know, we got a lot of songs together, shit together, years.
We got many more, man. God willing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, God is good, and I want to give a shout out to Lesmans for letting us always come in there and record.
He's been a legend in
Mark
the stereo game for years.
And the man behind the scenes that helps me a lot, man. His name is Christian. Come see Christian at Lesmans, man. He's a good dude. He comes on Sundays and he does not have to be here because they're closed. And he helps me operate this, man, to out of his own time, and I wanted to give a shout out to him. So
thank you.
Lesbians Music Dealers, George Fisher.com. And you guys stay tuned, man. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. Peace.